Let's pop out this chat and get started again. What's up, Jay? Hey, Nate. And McLovin. And Matthew. Hello, guys. How's it going? Alright, so first off, today we're going to be working on the Sword of the Anbu, which I'm actually really excited about. Look at this beauty. What's up, Blanco? So we're going to be working on this, and after a little while, I'm going to mention the spell that I'm working on. Now, it's not finished. Most of the code has been written, though. Hey, Rainbow. Matthew. What's up? Okay. Alright, so let's get started. First off, what we're going to do is just drag in one of our other weapons. Because we do have one of the other Anbu. What's up, Chico and Kwam? Mega Punch. With that Mega Punch spell, if it only works in slow-mo, did you change... Shoot, I forget what it's called. Let's see. If we go to streaming assets, there is a certain part of it, though. If we go to our damagers, let's go to punch. So when you did it, did you make sure to have the add force duration be very low? Because the higher this number is, the longer the punch gets stretched out. And that's probably why it looks like it works a little bit better in slow-mo. So maybe try adding this and decreasing it a bit. What's up, Alex? And thank you, Kwam. I appreciate it. Alright, but today we have this lovely Anbu sword that we're going to model after Kakashi's White Light Chakra Saber. And here's the beauty. So if we drag it in, we will notice that this sword is enormous. So what we gotta do, let's just set it up. Oh, and for those of you that know Naruto, I do actually have this now. So let me just double click on it. If you know Naruto, what Naruto is, you know the show. Does this look a little bit familiar to you guys? Let me know in the chat. Kind of curious. Because it's the model from the game, and it is beautiful. But, alright, let's stay on task. So our Anbu sword right here. As you can tell, it's enormous. So let's... I wish these had been reset, but let's decrease this a lot, then we can work on the size. To code, I don't always have to do everything by scratch. Sometimes, especially with the commonality of the Trials of the Shinobi mods, you can just reuse certain things, which I tend to do because it makes working on them quite a bit easier. Yes, Trials of the Shinobi U10 will be on Nexus just when I finish adding a couple things like the spell that I'm going to mention very shortly. I'd honestly say that this is a decent size. Kind of want it to be a bit bigger though, so let's set it to 2. Cool, now it's enormous. Thank you, Ethan. And thanks, McLovin, I appreciate it. I'd heard that would be cool, Chico, but I gotta be honest with you, I don't know much about JoJo, so I wouldn't be able to do that justice. You know what I mean? Alrighty. This still looks a bit big. Let's do 0.12. 2. Now this guys, this looks pretty good. And just for the time being, let's just focus on this right now. Make some amazing textures with it. Of course I see that, Ruben. Don't forget, while I'm working on this, of course I'm going to read you guys' messages, because that wouldn't be proper of me to not. So, it's the reason why I had this chat popped out on the side. Shadow Possession, partial expansion is a little bit much. It's kind of like Lenika's, Mystic Hands. So that can be done. And then the Shadow Possession Jutsu, that's kind of easy. All you gotta do is just, well, maybe not easy, but it can be done. Because it's something like it has been done before. So we have our, let's find these. I assume this is our base. Yeah, so we have albedo, AO, emission, metallic, normal. Alright, let's do this, guys. So I'm sure, as you know, because you guys have been watching all the modding tutorials, albedo is the same as base. Look at this. Look at this detail. Oh wow, look at this. You can even see like the little fabric parts on it. That's awesome. Okay, so we have our occlusion. Right there. How's that look? Cool. And adds a little bit of depth. If you guys can see that right there. When textures aren't named for it, you kind of just need to figure it out. So with this one, in this case, if we take a look at it, it has a bit of color, so I know that this is most likely is going to be the base. Anything black and white will, the majority of the time, either be metal, AO, or emission, or like one that combines all of the above. And then this bluish color, or bluish purplish, whatever you want to say, is almost always normal. 99% of the time it is. Ooh, and then let's fix this. Wow, look at that. Oh shoot, let me fix this. Look at this. Such a big difference. This is beautiful. Oh man, we're gonna be having some fun with this, guys. Okay, so we've got that. Now we need to add in our, I think this is the metallic. Let's check. Yup. Let me just, yeah, that's metallic. Cool. And then finally we have our emission, which is this guy right here. Plop it on. And why don't we, oh ho ho ho. Oh no. I think this is too good for in-game. Look at this. This is beautiful. That's just the emission. So when you imbue, it will look like, if you imbue it with fire, the weapon will look like this. Oh. Wait a minute. We don't want the handle to be imbued. Well, the rest of it. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to open up Photoshop. I'm going to work on the emission texture with you guys live. Okay. There you go, Blanco. You're almost there. Just keep up the hard work. You'll get there soon enough. Yes, I am going to need this beta tested. What's up, Kai? How you doing? Alright. Let's try to get those flamingos popping up. Okay, so obviously what we're going to be doing is taking our emission texture and just dragging it in. So this is our emission. And let's just plop it in. And we'll automatically size it up and get everything set up for us. So the only thing I really want to work on is this. So honestly, what I'm going to do is just hit B, or if you want to click on this right here, or G, I mean, for that, we're going to do is just fill in this black right here. And I'm going to try it like this, because every white part that I see, like this is all going to be part of the emission. So let's take a peek, and let's see how it's looking. Now let me pull up the chat. Of course, Jim, you know. I changed the base map color, not the emissive. What do you mean? No, that's the albedo. That's the metallic. That's the normal. That is the AO. This is the emission. Oh, shoot. You're right. Oh, my bad, Linica. I guess I make mistakes. Okay. Well, regardless, so we have that, and then if we were to put this on here, it still does the blade. That doesn't really matter all that much. So I guess I worked on my own for no reason. Okay. Well, at least you guys saw how to do it. Alright, so we have this, and there we go. So as always, with emission, set it to 111. Always make sure to save it. And now that we have all of our textures in place, convert it to modes. Alrighty. But for real, guys, look at this beauty. Holy cow. The detail is incredible. And if you've seen this before, I'm sure you all have checked. It is made by none other than this amazing guy right here. Just look at that. Okay. We've gotten our pictures out of the way. Got the material. Let's just work on... Let's remove our emission map because we no longer need it because it's built in. Yes, Konoha is getting updated too. Boruto, huh? Global volume to the scene to see how the emission will look in game with Boom. It'll look fine. I've never had any issues with it. The only thing that I wish was that he had separated this into two meshes, one with the bottom, one with the top, because then I could change the I could make the bottom a little bit more. That's all right. Of course we want it to be bloody, so actually let me put in my reveal preset. And our weapon is looking gorgeous as always. So what we're gonna have to do is plop our textures back in. We have our base, we have our normal, and we have that. Awesome. Alright, let's just make sure that our emission is working perfectly. Let's just drag it up. It is. Looks beautiful. Amazing weapon. And finally we drag in our normal again right there. Okay. So our weapon is now finished look-wise. So we can actually set it up. Cool. Okay, now I know for a lot of you, you came because you saw that I was going to be working on a new spell. And, let me see how big this handle is. The spell that I'm currently working on ties in with Onoki's. So it, oh yeah. If I pull this down, size-wise, that looks about right to me. Okay. So what I'm working on is a density manipulation spell. So there's a couple different parts to it. So it's my first spell that actually has randomization involved. So if you hit an enemy with a projectile, there is a chance that they could get extremely heavy or extremely light. So just like Anoki's, I don't even know what you call it, his, I guess, density shifting jutsus, or his mass changing jutsus, where he can fly, where he can make boulders super light or super heavy, it's going to be essentially that. You can pick up enemies, pull the trigger, and then they can instantly get super heavy. You can impale enemies or do damage to them, and then they get either super heavy or super light based on random. It's going to be incredible, and it's one of the first spells that I've done that's this complex. So I hope you guys like it, because I'm working very hard on it for you. So we have our mesh, of course. Okay. Let's close out some of these. Help with performance just a little bit. Exit out of Steam. Okay, that should be a lot better. I guess the chat is frozen just a little bit. It's not good. Alright, whatever. That's fine. I'm just going to keep working on this then. So, of course, delete the old generated in view mesh. And we're going to want to put in a new one. So after we have this set up, we have our mesh. We have our weapon, and it is the Anbu sword. So don't forget to change the name. Mesh. Our holder point is where it needs to be. Our preview is, you know what? My question is this facing the right way? No, so both of our blades are pointed differently, so let me just change that real quick. So if we rotate it 90 degrees, that is perfect. Okay, so we have our lovely, lovely sword. Let's work on some handles. Okay, well, it seems that there's a bit of an issue with the chat going on right now. That's fine. Alright, so we have our weapon, we have our handle, and I'm considering, let's just make it the entire, right there. Because I think that looks pretty good. We want it toward the blades. So set this to -90. Alright, our handle is already facing the proper way. It's beautiful. I wish Unity's camera movement was better too, believe me. I don't know. It's, for me, it looks like it's glitching on one of them. That's what the issue was. Okay, if there's not a lot of people chatting, then that's completely different. I'm fine with that. Alright, and we have the upper part of our weapon. And being completely honest, I don't really think I need to do anything with this handle. Got our top and our bottom. And let's just make it a little bit bigger. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. And it's covering the entire blade, which is perfect. Alright, we have our pierce damager. Let's take a look at it. Make just a little bit longer. Alright, that is beautiful. Ah, good to know. Good to know, because that kind of threw me for a loop for a second. Okay. Alright, so we have our slash damager. Wanted to cover our entire amazing weapon, of course. And let's actually just keep it the same height. There we go. Covers the entire weapon now. Sword can cut and pierce. Oh. Okay, so let's make some new colliders for these guys. Lovely, lovely capsule collider. Bam. No kidding, Kai. That's what I thought. But, I mean, if that's not the issue, then that's fine by me. And of course, we need to make our colliders as lovely and perfect as possible. Do you have to get the blade in that circle? By circle, if you mean the collider, then yes, you should get it in the collider. If you don't, there might be issues with it. All right. Beautiful. And of course, it's always better to do some of these things. Yeah, Blanca, you wanna stop? See, if you say something midway through, then that's different. It looks like there's just part of it, or there's the rest of the text, like towards the bottom of the chat, not having been sent because it's still loading. So it's definitely garbage. And let's just pull this one down. Alright, I'm good with that. Beautiful. Okay, and this is our blade. Those colliders are pretty good. I can... make another one. Just let me pull it over just a smidge. Yeah. Beautiful. No, making weapons is actually really easy, especially if you check out the tutorial on my channel where I go through step by step. Like, it's honestly super easy. Okay, so for both of these guys, let's just make them a little bit longer. Hey, Mako. Alright. Looks good to me. Now our lovely handle, where we're basically going to be doing the same exact thing. Because this is the side. Honestly, I only need 2 of these guys, so that actually works out perfectly. Just put them side by side like that. And honestly, this isn't much bigger. No, italics do not work. Cool. Alrighty. Now we have all this covered. Awesome. Okay, so our colliders are metal. They're done. Hawk, don't worry. I did the same exact thing when I was first making weapons with Drag's tutorial back in, I think, U7. I followed it to the letter, just like you did. And only after asking him and the other modders at the time about 1,000,000 questions did it finally click that I was doing everything wrong. But, you know, that's what the community's for. Everybody here helps each other. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to let me know. Alrighty, let's make a lovely, sexy preview. Cool. Awesome. And yeah, let's move it over just a little bit. So yeah, I think our weapon is done. It's kind of easy. Okay, so before I forget, alright, Blanco, you can message me your questions. I'll take a look in a bit. Just want to shrink these just a little bit for a second while I make the imbue. Awesome. How much time does each mod make? Good question. If it's a weapon, it can usually take like 5 to 10 minutes, especially if you know what you're doing. I mean, I'm on stream walking you guys through some of the details, so it's taking a little bit longer. But spell mods can take a long time because you have to code them yourself. Still seems super difficult to me. Well, I mean, Kai, you can just leave the coding stuff. Unity, you kind of just got to get used to. You know, that's how I started with it. Because it does get a little bit tough, being completely honest. But then you get used to the errors, you get used to, you know, what you should look for. Honestly, I'm so excited to use this weapon in game. Okay, our Pierce is our fly ref. Alright, I think we're done. Let me just add in the reveal decal. And that's good. Save it. Alright, well now our Anbu sword is no longer to do. Generate. And there's our preview. I do think there's an issue with that preview though, guys. If we take a look. Actually, no. Maybe not. It's facing the same way as all the rest. Okay. In that case, I'm good with it. Good night, Blanco. A weapon with the right textures. I mean, usually most of them are pretty decent with that. So I think you've just been having kind of bad luck. You do, Hawk, you do realize that you can open Blender files in Unity, right? .blend, you can open them. Oh, no kidding, Song. The JSONs suck. Because just for frickin', where is it? Just for Charles the Shinobi. How many JSONs do I have? I'm kind of curious. So we've got all these. I don't know if there's a way to check, but there's... I'd say there's at least 100 JSONs. Okay, Blanco. The newest Blade and Sorcery thing, check my second to most recent YouTube video. You'll find it in the very beginning of the video. All the links are there. Mako. Yeah, Hawk, all you gotta do is have Blender downloaded on your computer, and it should open up automatically. It'll give you a little thing that says, hey, do you want to open this in with Blender? And then you hit yes, and then it will work in Unity. Okay. So we have our Anbu sword. You know, I feel like it's gonna work just fine. Simplify. Rename the addressables. Oh, for those of you that don't know this is a tremendous help that actually speeds up the process quite a bit. When you're typing, if you don't want to right click and then hit, change address or rename something, hit F2 on your keyboard. It will automatically go to rename it for you. That is something that I recently learned, and it saves me so much time. You're right, you shouldn't use the 1.4 million poly sword. You should go for the 1.4 billion. So it looks even more amazing. Am I right? I think so. Alright, now it's actually time to just play around with some particles for the new spell. And I'm leaning towards using some of the... No problem, Mako. Alrighty. I don't know if many of you guys have seen this, but this is the Atomic Disintegration spell that I just recently-ish uploaded. Here are the sexy particles, and of course, that's what it looks like when you move them. It was all made by me, and honestly, I think it looks great. And for that reason, I'm going to be reusing it. My question is, what did I name it? Because I had a couple minutes and I actually worked on all the JSONs already. Density manipulation. Blanco, go to sleep. Okay. I think I just named density manipulation. Yeah, Kai, I know exactly what you're talking about with all the JSONs. It's annoying and tedious, and even if you do use the Visual Studio Code, which it does help a lot. I don't know. I tried using it again after you suggested it, but it just takes so long to open up stuff. Yes, Blanco, I'm going to work on it and I'm going to edit it. I'm not leaving it with the exact same particles. That would be cheating. This is my density manipulation spell right now. So after finishing a couple things for Trials of the Shinobi, density manipulation. So if you hit an enemy with a projectile, it can... Yes, I can make it blue. But I'm thinking about making it brown, like Anoki's jutsus, because rocks. Density manipulation. So you hit enemies, their mass changes from 70 to either super, super low, super, super high, making them not be able to get up in game. Do a lot of cool things. There's randomization, so sometimes they get super heavy, sometimes they get super light. If you get hit by the projectiles, you can use an imbue, which can determine, if they get super heavy or super light. It'll be very customizable for the player on purpose. Okay, looks like I was smart enough to... Nope, almost smart enough. Okay, to keep all these the same. Right? Maybe not. These 4. Okay, and then as soon as it starts, there's a little bit of particles. Yeah, this was the locomotion mass thing. Honestly, I haven't tried it. I've been working on a couple other things. Like a little while ago, I learned how to use Cheat Engine to write scripts. Hawk, don't look at that folder. It's not good yet. Ooh, I'll make sure to DM you about that, Linica. Yes, the cure to being heavy. Mod yourself in real life. There you go, Blanco. So let's go to spells. Where is it? The Twin Lion Fists. So this is it. This is model for it. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little transparent. I worked on it real quickly, just to kind of get it set up, but it can be spawned. I just need to make particles for it. Let's see, so this is density manipulation. The cure to being tired. There is no cure to that one. So I have to say you're out of luck. This. Oh yeah. Particles are just very bright. Okay. So why don't we change it to be a little bit more brown? Brown enough, I guess. Honestly, you know what? Let's just keep everything being the exact same. Let's have one be a little bit darker, one be just a smidgen lighter. And of course with these, just like before, hey Mako, no kidding. Yeah, let's do it like this. Alright, look at this beauty. Gotta admit, they're still pretty cool for the particles. And then if we want to drag it around, honestly, I kind of like it. But of course, what we need to do, let's... this is the trails. go. Figure we should probably change some of these just a little bit. Well, if it's bad, then that does make sense. Why they would call it that. But I'm sorry they did. Okay. So we have this set up, and I don't want it to look the exact same. So what we're going to be doing is... And let's just play around with some of the things that I have in my folder. Not even sure what I have at this point. Kushina's pan. Go for it. It's just a little bit too bright. The only issue is I have so many things in here that it's kind of tough. Okay, I kind of like that swirling effect. That's pretty cool. Or maybe this. Well, that looks very similar to the other one. Okay, yeah. I'm good with that. It's not perfect, but it's something. I mean, I guess this is kind of like a poop color. A little bit. Let's remove that, because that doesn't really need to have it. Honestly, I don't think it really needs to have those trails either. Yes, for the 1,000 millionth time, there are going to be Kurama spells eventually. And you know what? You can always just scale up the particles. And let's leave it right there. That looks pretty good to me. But as you can tell, it's just quite a little bit bright. So that it's not straight brown. Let's give it a little bit of green for some pizzazz. Colors don't blend all that well, so let's increase our sorting fudge to like 99. Get that at -1. Let's refresh it. Alright, it's looking a little bit better. It's still too bright though. Oh, that looks like P, so that's I guess the opposite of what we're looking for. I don't know. I have so many different things in here, I'm not even sure what to click at this point. Shield fire. Nope. Well, the fire stuff is usually all pretty cool. Still don't like this either. Good night, Blanco. And maybe I'll hit up Stoles for some particles. So he's been doing this pretty good. There, it's a sexy little ball right there. It's not going to be perfect, but, you know, something to try out. Okay, so we have this guy, and alright, so for now, let's set that up. Gonna merge, and then when we merge the spell, every single enemy caught in the vicinity will, as a matter of fact, either get super heavy or super light. So if you merge and you pull your hands outward, they'll get super heavy. If you merge, you pull your hand inward, they'll get super light. So it's a little bit more customizable for your taste. You can play around with it a little more. Let's keep this to the side so we have a bit of a size reference. Gorgeous. I don't even know what to do at this point. Okay, so let's take the size of a lifetime. Looks to be a pretty good size for me. I'm actually going to keep that there. And then in game, when we're actually using it, the merge, it can look like this. I think that's pretty funky. It is a little bit bigger. Let me just shrink it just a tiny bit. Maybe a little bit more. Ah, look at that. Now we have some sexy particles. Cool. Yeah, they're about the same size too. And you know what, for the fun of it, why don't we put some brown fire on the inside? I think you guys would like that. So let's... Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I need to update this. The Hiccup Sword. Let's do this. Nope. Oh yeah, that's some fire right there. So let's delete that. Of course, don't forget to set every little thing 000, then you can work the very center of it. And let's take this material, because we can customize this one in any way we like. So we had our brownish color before. There we go. Shrink our, yeah, that's a lot. Let's just keep it at 10 for now. Shape, we don't really need to change it. We could just shrink it, but in this case, let's set it to 1. Gorgeous. And I want it to show up behind everything. So we're going to change our fudge. Let's make it a 1. Because I want it to be in the very center, but not really moving all that much. And we want there to be a little bit of variety in the size of it. So let's just shrink this. And oh, it's not even part of it. There you go. Voila. We have our particles. There's a cool little fire thing on the inside just for some pizzazz. So that we can pretend we're actually doing something. Honestly, I'm kind of happy with this, the way that this turned out. So for those of you that are still on, let me know what you think. Now that we've finished our weapon, now that we've finished our density manipulation, I think I'm ready to call it for a night. So for those of you that are watching, thank you very much for coming. It's great having you guys and talking you through this process. So I'll be seeing you guys next time. Goodbye.